there's something about Feldenkrais that really speaks to me in development and about learning. I've always been very interested in learning. I've been a teacher, and learning for myself and helping other people to learn. And Feldenkrais really, at bottom, is kind of about that, about learning through not through memorizing facts or stuff like that, what we think of as learning, but really in a most basic kind of original kind of learning that we all did when we were babies. And that's so powerful, and I love it. Feldenkrais, his wife was a pediatrician. He observed a lot of babies, and he applied his scientific mind to that and really watched how babies learn to lift their head, to roll over, to learn to sit, to come to standing and learn to walk, all without anybody teaching them anything. And he really saw the possibility for us as adults to retrace that path through exploratory learning and finding enjoyable, pleasant ways to move without having to think about it, without having someone tell you how to feel or do this or do that, but really exploring for yourself. And he felt that would enrich the information that the brain has, the nervous system. And one of his very famous quotes I love to quote is that we act in accordance with our self-image. And we all come to adulthood with this kind of patchwork of who we are, how we've come up, whether you fell off your bike when you were 5, or you tripped and fell and you broke your arm, and then, all of these kinds of things accumulate into who we think we are, and including if you've been sitting at a desk doing this for 8 hours for 20 years, and you get used to that, feels normal. And by exploring these lessons that Dr. Feldenkrais put together, and other people as well, he leads the person, me, to move in a way that you don't in the ordinary course of your day. And that kind of movement, say I'm moving my shoulder in a kind of a way like this, I'm making this up, right? But if I move my shoulder like this and I don't do that every day, my brain has sort of forgotten about it. It reminds my brain that, that's a possibility. Maybe not in my conscious mind, but in my inner being, And so that adds to the person's self-image and allows for people to change from a very inner-directed, organic kind of way. And someone who can hardly move, you can move a millimeter, and it's enough message for your brain. People with injuries, you can do a lesson on one side and imagine it on the side that's not working well. And Dr. Feldenkrais really believed that. He was very much a proponent of what we're today calling neuroplasticity. He wrote about it in 1949. He was very much ahead of his time, and his ideas are very much being proven or brought to the fore these days with the scientific advances and our ability to visualize activity in the brain with MRI technology. So it's very much a learning thing, and it's a very hopeful thing, because no matter where you're at, where you're coming from physically and mentally, it can help you improve. Feldenkrais terms, they often use the term improvement, right? You can improve from wherever you are. And when I first started in the training, I thought, well, that's an odd concept. But now I see that it's really very, very important, because no matter where you are, you can improve whatever you'd like to improve. I think everybody brings their own personality to it. I'm very interested in breathing because I'm a singer in my other life, and I've worked with breathing a lot. So I mention breathing a lot in the lesson, even if it's not in the lesson proper, because I think people don't really pay attention to their breathing, and it's such we wouldn't be live if we didn't breathe, right? And people don't understand the mechanics of it. So I tend to mention that maybe a little more than other people. That's what I would say. I enjoy teaching, and I think I bring that sense of enjoyment to it. I really enjoy the students. I enjoy working with people. And it's really wonderful to see people make those changes. And in some cases it happens quickly, but for most people it's a process of learning something healthful for the body instead of walking around like this. You know, I'm as an example, becoming aware. I mean, there are a lot of wonderful quotes from Dr. Feldenkrais. One of those other quotes is, if you know what you're doing, you can do what you want, you know, which seems like a truism, but it's really, really so. If you walk around unaware of what you're doing, there's not much possibility of making a change in that if it's something that is impeding your health or making life not so pleasant.